Hey guys, it's Martin from Dandy Dyes. I just dyed this up, tied it, and made a tutorial. Check it out. Hey guys, Martin here with Dandy Dyes. Today we're going to string up a ECD DNA with armor mesh. In this tutorial, we're going to run through how to do the top string, sidewalls, bottom string, and then some of the tips and tricks I do when stringing a armor mesh pocket. Good stuff. When you're dealing with armor mesh, you're going to notice that there's two different sides. One is smooth and one has the ribs going down it. I like to put the smooth side on the inside, but there is no right or wrong way to do that. So I like to do a floating top string where I have 4 connection points and then 2 on the side. I think these are called hitch knots, so we're just going to go with that. To start off, I'm going to do a hitch knot through the front, bring it through, get a nice connection here, tighten that up like that. Then I'm going to start with my middle loop. I'm going to take the string, run it through the middle loop, go through the front of the scoop, pull down, go back around the string from back to front, give it a nice tug, hold it with my finger, go from back to front, pull through, and go through the loop that I just created. So now you have 2 hitch style knots holding the armor mesh right there in the middle. So now I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to do 2 more on either side. So now I have my 4 connections, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the next 2 loops and connect them to the sidewall. So that's going to give me 2 there floating on a bridge. So you're going to go through the loop again, and I'm going to go through the second hole here. When I go through this hole, I'm going to loop it around as many times as I can to keep it nice and tight. I'm using a little bit of a thicker sidewall here, so I might only be able to get it around twice. So there you can see I've got a double right there. I'm going to take this, I'm going to do a double knot. So I'm going to loop around twice, and then I'm going to pull through. Push that down, pull it tight. Okay, so we're going to repeat the process on this side. And there you have the top string. All right, so now we're down to the sidewalls. Everybody does their sidewalls different. I had the honor of working with Chris from Armor Mesh for a week straight in Lake Placid, and I learned a thing or two from him. I think the main thing when getting started with this is just to keep it simple. So what I'm going to do is just a nice simple sidewall here. This is going to be a great way to test your stringing and to get a good pocket with armor mesh without too much stress. The way I like to start is I like to just do a loop here on the side. With my first loop, I don't actually like to attach the armor mesh. And I like to keep the whole piece of mesh floating. It is a open joint system on the armor mesh. It's a free flowing piece of mesh. So I like to keep that going as far as the way it's attached. So what I did is a double loop right there, and then now I'm going to start doing special interlocks through the mesh. A special interlock is when you use the sidewall string, you go through a hole of mesh, you perform your knot, and then you come back through that same hole of mesh and then move down. For the sake of this mesh, we're going to call every one of these strands a 1 or a 2. We're just going to number them. So if I'm using 2, I'm going to say I'm skipping through 2. And the way I like to do my armor mesh to start is I like to consider every hole on an average normal modern head is going to get 2 strands. Where I want my pocket to start, I'm going to give it 3 strands. And then I might keep 2 or 3 sections of 3 strands and go back down to 2 to get the pocket a little more shallow. I'm going to do this whole thing to the inside, so good luck following. I'm going to start after the first strand under the loop. So I'm going to go in through that strand from front to back, and then I'm going to go through the next sidewall hole from inside to outside, perform my interlock, which means I'm just going to come right back down into that and cinch it tight. That's an interlock. You go through the sidewall, you come in, you cinch it tight. You're not actually tying an overhand knot, you're just using the string to secure itself and create tension. That's how you perform that knot. gonna hold that tight. Gonna go back through. Then I'm gonna skip 2. So go down to the next hole, go back in from front to back. Go through the sidewall from inside to out. Go in through the loop I just created on the side. Pull it tight. And then go back through the hole that I came out of. So there you can see I've got 2 interlocks going through 2 strands. So now I'm going to repeat that until I want to start the depth of my pocket. All right, I've done 2 more now, and now I'm going to start going from 2 strands to 3 strands to create the depth in my pocket. So you can see here 1, 2, 3 strands, and then I'm going to go in from front to back. I'm going to go inside to out. And from back to front. And I'm going to do 3 more holes here. I'm going to go back to 2s. All right, now we're gonna go for our tie off. I've got all my 2s and 3s all the way up and down. I'm gonna go for a tie off right here. So I'm gonna go down 2 right there. And then I'm gonna just tie off right here. I'm gonna do another double loop here. There you go, tied off, gonna do a double knot and call this side a day. All right, so this is what you're gonna have after you go through there. I've got 2s going down. You can see where I've created the depth in my pocket, where I've gone back down to 2s. Now we're going to do the other side. All right, so now we got the beginning of a pocket. Now, this looks very, very shallow. I can assure you this is going to turn into a beautiful pocket. Before we pound our pocket, we need to secure the bottom. What I like to do here is I like to go through the hole that we skipped on the sidewall, come through, then I like to go down through the first hole in the ball stop area. And then what I like to do is I like to alternate these rows, starting on the next row down from where my last sidewall was attached. So now I'm going to come back up. I'm going to go up through the mesh from front to back, over, back up, and back over. And then I'm going to come down. Now I am in the middle of the mesh, and I'm going to go back up through the 3rd hole, go back down, pull it through, and then I like to repeat and go back up through that middle row, back to front, front to back, and then back down, back up through the bottom string hole, and then back through that hole that we skipped on the sidewall. Now we've got a bottom string that looks like this. And we're gonna tie it all up and then we're gonna pound our pocket. Now it's time to pound our pockets. You can see here we're a little shallow. It's where this bad boy comes in. I'm gonna get on here with our weight. We're gonna start stretching this pocket out. The armor mesh is a free-flowing design, so it's gonna go wherever the ball goes, and you can see it clearly here as I'm pounding this pocket. How does that look? Now you've got an armor mesh pocket. This pocket's got a nice channel It's got a great shape. It's gonna hold the ball anywhere you want it. This would be a great pocket for a midfielder, tackman, really anyone. I could see LSMs using this as well. I'm gonna go ahead and keep pounding it for a little bit more, get it nice and stretched and get the pocket where it needs to be. All right, you can see the channel there. You can see how that ball is going to go through that channel. That's a heck of a channel for armor mesh. Back of it's looking good. All right, now let's talk shooters. A lot of people don't use shooters with their armor mesh, and I don't really think that you need to. That being said, I do think that adding a nylon is going to be the most beneficial shooter you can add. This is going to allow you to really feel the ball and get the snap in your wrist for pinpoint accuracy when passing and shooting. I also like to add a hockey lace. I don't like to add this to redirect the ball when shooting or passing. I mainly like this for feel of where the ball is in your pocket, as well as helping bump the ball back into your pocket when cradling. I leave this extremely loose so that when I shoot and pass, it's not going to affect the direction of the ball. I like to start like right before my pocket. So my pocket here is with the threes. That's where I wanted my pocket to start. So I'm gonna put one right there, go around the sidewall, and then I'm just gonna lace through that row. Do a nice little overhand loop here. And you can see how loose that is. I've got plenty of play in that. This is only for feeling the ball. Now we come with our nylon. I also like to leave this loose. I like to go up one row. All right, now it's time to cut and snip. And there you have it, a nice armor mesh pocket in a DNA. This is a great universal head with a great universal pocket. I'd feel confident giving this to any player on the field. This pocket is going to be shifty. It's going to have all the characteristics you like, from one-handed cradling to side. It's got dangle, it's got hold, it's accurate as hell. Can't beat it. If you guys have any questions about armor mesh, please reach out. Thanks for watching.